Me turning 35 is crazy. It's insane. Like every time I think about it, I'm like, bro, you 35. I'm in my mid-30s. Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little personal and a little chatty, but I feel like it's so needed, especially for anyone approaching their 30s or in the thick of it like me. I'm turning 35. I'm still a child. Like, I cannot believe I'm turning 35. I'll be 35 April 1st. I feel like I just turned 25, but this decade, girl, she's truly been a ride, but a beautiful, challenging, healing ride, to be exact. So I wanted to sit down with you guys. I feel like you guys don't really know me. I feel like y'all know me, but y'all don't know me. So a lot of you guys may not even know I'm in my 30s. But I wanted to do a sit down with you guys and talk about and share some of the realest lessons I've learned in my 30s. I can't even say that. As a mom, as a wife, as a full-time working mom, a content creator, and someone who's been in therapy since I was 24, 25 years old. So let's get into it, girls. I want to start by saying this. Your 30s is not a deadline. Okay, it's not. Get that out of your mind. Don't let society fool you into thinking you have to have this by 30. You have to have that by 30. That's why when people be like, oh, I want to do this by 30, we be like, who's going to tell them? Because who's going to tell them? I feel like when we're in our 20s, when we're much like early 20s, we're thinking like by 30, we'll have it all figured out. No, honey, I'm still trying to figure that shit out. Hell, I'm not even gonna put my sister's age on blast, but they still trying to figure it out. That was cute. That was real cute and all, but your 30s, they will humble you quickly. Come, sit down. Let me talk to you. As I said, 30s is not a finish line. I feel like 30s is really the beginning of learning who you are without all that noise. Does that make sense? You start unlearning everything, okay? Unlearn everything you did to survive in your 20s. That's what I can say. The people pleasing, saying yes all the time when you really want to say no, and the over explaining, the shrinking, the not setting boundaries, all of it. Unlearn it. Demaskel, okay? Was what we would say in Creole. Demaskel. In my 30s, I gave myself permission to slow down. And the reason why it was a lot easier for me to do that, for one, therapy. Two, COVID. I turned 30 in 2020. I had no choice but to slow down. I gave myself permission to rest. We had nothing better to do, really. And not chase the hustle culture, because that's a tongue twister. Not chase the hustle culture like it's a badge of honor. Because baby, if you don't rest, your body will force you to. And I had to learn the hard way. Now let's talk about mom life, because I know a lot of you guys truly look into like wanting to be a mom in your 20s and stuff, and that's all good. Go for it. If you feel like you can, please do it. Don't let no one stop you. But becoming a mom in my 30s has been beautiful, but hard, obviously. Like, no one really tells you that you go through an identity shift when you become a mom. Like, you're still you, but you're also someone else's entire world. And they rely on you. And trying to find yourself again in that role, whoo, cha. When they say postpartum takes 2 years, just about 2 years, it's true. It wasn't until recent when I'm starting to like really feel like myself, especially when I do things like this. Like, I'm like, okay, I see you. I just need a little bit of makeup and my hair done. That's it. That's really it. I see you. Also, just still trying to accept this role. Again, I'm only a year and a half in as being a mom. But trying to accept this role and make sure that you're still putting yourself first. You're putting your marriage first. You're putting yourself first, your marriage, and then your child. Like, all these things you have to do, you can lose yourself. That's when you can also go through, when you start putting yourself first, you go through mom guilt more. Right. I know a lot of you guys are like, I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to be a mom. That's fine. I feel like everyone has that choice. You have that choice to not want to become a mom. But for those who do want to become a mom, and the ones who are a mom, you guys know mom guilt is real. But I also learned to give myself grace. You're doing your best in whatever it is. Even on the days when the house is a mess, your toddler is screaming, and you're trying to eat lunch standing up because you're trying to keep the kid from killing themselves. Like, yes, you're doing your best. However, if you need to go take a shower and you need to put your kid in the playpen while you go do that, do it. If you need to run out, get a sitter so you can run to Kohl's or Sephora or also whatever the case is, do it. Put yourself first. Do not allow yourself to go through this guilt like you're not supposed to be doing something when you should. Because if those things make you happy, you're happy, the household is happy. Oh, and I know you say happy wife, happy marriage. Happy wife, happy household. Because it's important for your husband to feel happy as well. Being a mom also taught me patience. And I started to learn patience when I started to go into the physical therapy, occupational therapy world. I used to work there, I used to manage the front desk. And so I've learned a lot of patience, especially coming from who I used to be. I never had patience. I know it. I just didn't. I didn't have patience for nothing. No one. I was very selfish. But when I started working in that field, I learned patience. But that patience that I've learned is nothing compared to the patience you're going to learn as a mom. And also presence. Being a mom also taught me presence and pouring into my cup first. Because I can't pour into my husband and my child if I'm running on fumes. That's just something that, yeah, you just can't. That's motherhood for me summed up. That's what I've learned as a mom in my 30s. Now, everyone's journey is different. But I knew I wanted to become a mom in my 30s because I feel like in my 20s, I wasn't at that level of maturity yet because I was still going through healing. I was still trying to figure myself out. And I don't feel like I could be a mom and still try to figure myself out. That I could get to learn this person, but I still felt like I needed more healing before that happened. So when I found out I was pregnant, it was just like oh, you're pregnant. I wasn't scared or anything. The only thing I was scared of is like birth, like whether I don't know if I'm gonna get C-section. I don't know how much the pain is gonna be, like stuff like that. But when I found out I was pregnant, I was at a stage where like, oh, we could do this. We got savings, we got money, like we're in a good, healthy space in our relationship. Like it was easy for me to accept that. Like any other, I don't want to say any other person. You know, sometimes it's not in the best time for certain people. But for me, it was just like, I've done enough healing in the last 5+ years for me to be able to be extremely happy that I'm pregnant and at a very good space in my life. And I do believe we were planning to have a kid that year, but at the month that we wanted to conceive, I know this is too much information, but whatever. The month we wanted to conceive, it was 2 months prior. So, you know, we did a little a little more than sure. And then we got pregnant. So, yeah. But yeah, I've always known that I wanted to have a baby in my 30s. I felt like that's where, yeah. Let me look at my phone really quick because I wrote some down, and then I was also thinking, because like I used to journal back then, and I remember my therapist used to always ask me like, what are some things you want to work on? And I'm just going to kind of go through those and kind of think about it to see like, okay, what else have I learned in my 30s? Because this is off the dome right now. Let's get into marriage in your 30s, because getting married in general is not like the rom-coms at all. I got married in my 30s, and I feel like that's truly a blessing. I know a lot of people, me and my husband, we've been together going on 12 years in October. And a lot of people used to always ask us like, oh my God, when you guys are getting married, blah, blah, blah. Our walk is our walk. Our path is our path. Our journey is our journey. And I told everyone, I don't care who you are. No one's going to rush me and Donald into getting married right away. We always known that we wanted to be with each other. But I also feel like working on your career and still have your individuality and still being able to heal and find yourself and stuff like that is so important. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you guys can do it together. We were. But we wanted to do it together first before we got married. And we just toned everyone out or whatever. We did everything our way. We had our own relationship with God. We already knew exactly how we wanted things to go. However, when he did propose, it was surprising, but it was getting to the point where it was just like, nigga, where's the ring? So he proposed to me. Damn, how long were we together when he proposed? I would say the 8th year. Because you guys gotta, I want to say you guys gotta remember, but I would say Donald was in a whole career when we were together. We're still together, but like when we were dating, Donald was in the NFL, and then when he went into the GFL, which is the Germany league, And then when he came back, we were already like, I think 4 years in, and then we started living together. And we were just like chasing, I was trying to chase a career. I went through several careers, you guys. Like, I think I said this in a few of my videos. Like, I went through different careers. Like, I started this company or this job. I started this job. I started this job. Like, I went through different careers. And then my last career shift is when I realized that I don't want to do OT. I don't want to go into like crazy amount of school loan debt to be an occupational therapist. And I don't see myself doing it for 10 years. You know what I mean? So I learned something totally different. And that's where I'm at now. At that time when he proposed, I forget what I was doing. It's been a while. Mom brain. Yeah, we've always known we wanted to get married, but we wanted to do it on our time. And Donald always known he wanted to marry me. I've always known, shit, the first time we were dating, we always know, like, damn, like, I'm kind of stuck with this dude. Like, this dude, you know, he persistent now. You know, he was very persistent with me. And we got together, and it's just been peace. You know, like, he would come over to the house and spend the whole weekend with me, and we wouldn't even talk about football. Like, he knew I loved watching football, and that's what we'll do on Sundays. We'll go eat brunch, come home, watch football, and don't even talk about it. The only time we talked about it is if he tells me, like, he had to try out for something or he had a camp or whatever the case is. So that's what our dynamic was. And then eventually we got engaged, and then COVID hit, and then we were going to have this big wedding, and we did it and realized, like, no, preserving our money is a lot more important than trying to throw this big old wedding. We eloped, had a small ceremony on the beach, and we've been married since. It's been a beautiful journey. You know, not saying that you got to skip out on this big wedding and no, do whatever you feel is in your means. You know what I mean? But me and Donald, we didn't have baby shower. We didn't have a big wedding. We are very low-key people. We don't like big crowds. And that's what worked for us. So getting married in our 30s while still going through everything we went through with our career shifts and everything in life in general was such a blessing. I feel like getting married, I think it was 31, getting married at 31, I feel like I was more emotionally aware more than anything I could have been in my 20s. I've been to therapy, still going, even if it's just for a quick conversation, I'm talking about something from work or whatever like that. Like, she just gives different professional advice that makes me think outside the box. And I think that's what helped with my communication skills. It helped with giving people grace. It helped me eliminate people out of my life. Like, it's just been great. I just got to the point where I just knew what I didn't want, and he knew what he didn't want. We knew what we wanted, and every box was checked, child. Every single box. But even that, marriage is work. Like I said, it's communication. It's choosing each other every single day. Every day, child. Even on the hard days. You wake up on your period, you gotta choose that motherfucker. It's unlearning love habits. You gotta unlearn them, girl. Unlearn them. It's unlearning love habits from childhood. And trust me, that's part of the reason why I went to therapy, because there are certain things that I knew I didn't want to bring into a marriage. And in order for that to happen, I gotta go through healing. I gotta go through therapy. I gotta hold myself accountable. Doing so, we were able to relearn how to be a safe place for each other. And that's the most beautiful thing we've ever done. Like, we come home, we don't go nowhere sometimes. Like, people will invite us out, and we'll look at each other and be like, you want to cancel? So, like, just being in each other's company, it's beautiful. It's a blessing. So I'm here. But yeah, we're not perfect. But one thing I learned is marriage is a partnership and not a performance. You're not trying to prove anything to the world, just choosing each other and growing together every day. And that's what I love the most. Let's talk about the juggle. Full-time job? Check. Content creator? Check. Mom, wife, woman, everything. Check. It's exhausting sometimes. Like, I be wanting to rip my freaking hair out sometimes. There are weeks where I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep, trying to edit content, prep dinner, send emails, be present with my daughter, and not completely lose myself in the process. And let's not forget, like, I'm also an entrepreneur. I also run my own business. I don't really talk about it as much because I'm not trying to get new clients right now. I don't have the time. But, you know, just trying to juggle all of that and just trying not to lose myself, like I said. But I've learned that I don't have to choose one version of me. Like, I'm allowed to be corporate and creative at the same time. I mean, I do work in advertising, so it's like that's my typical work life. Like, I could still show up at work and still film a TikTok in my car or on my lunch break. But the key is grace and rhythm, not bad. Someday work wins, someday motherhood wins. Some days I win, and that's okay. Okay? Give yourself grace. Not everything needs to just, you don't have to have your hands in everything. If one day you want to focus on this, do that. The other day you want to focus on that, do that. That's okay. I know I spoke about therapy a few times, but let's talk about it a little more. I started therapy when I was 25, and it's truly been the best decision of my life. If you know me, you know I take my mental health serious. My mental peace comes above. I'm saying no to everything. Therapy helped me understand my triggers, cause child, unpack. I'm talking about peeling back wounds after wounds after wounds. It made me unpack my childhood wounds. Girl, you know how hard that is? Ooh. I've learned how to set boundaries. I don't care who you is. No is no. If I don't feel like doing something, no. I set boundaries like I'm setting my under eye concealer. And most importantly, get to know myself for real, okay? Get to know myself for real. And whoever I thought I knew in my 20s, child, we was just associates. Who I am today, who I know today, you couldn't tell me nothing about her. My therapist told me before, and it will always stick with me. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you always been before the world told you who to be. That makes sense? And that stuck with me. In your 30s, you start to crave peace more than anything. Anything. Not success, not popularity, just peace. Therapy helped me to stop seeking validation from people who never had the capacity to understand me. And now I protect my peace like it's sacred, because it is. And I think every woman should go through therapy at least once in their life. And I know trying to find the right therapist is important. If you guys, I don't even know if I want to tell you guys my therapist, but she does do Zoom calls, not Zoom calls, but it's through their portal. She does do that. But if you guys are really serious about therapy, please send me a message. Like, send me an email, send me a message, send me a DM, whatever the case is. And I'll be more than happy to send you my therapist's name and phone number and let her know that Natalie sent you. Just being able to see a therapist, talk to a therapist, because I want every woman to feel seen without being judged. And that's what she helped me with. But I wish I could say that I have it all figured out at 35. But girl, I'm still learning. I'm still learning to love my postpartum body. Because she's changed. I'm still learning to stop saying yes when I want to say no. I feel like I mastered that at this point. Like, if I don't feel like doing something, like, nah, I ain't doing it. And I used to feel bad for saying no. Yeah, no is my first language now. I'm still learning to show up online without overthinking it. Like, I started to overthink this video, and I'm like, bro, just post the video. Like, it's raw, it's organic. Like, people will resonate with it more than you trying to script up some sort of like script on things you learn in your 30s. Just be honest. Just go based off. Now I'm gonna have to do a lot of cutting and stuff like that, because there's times where I'm looking at the mirror or the camera like, what do I want to say again? So yeah, just show up. Stop overthinking it. I'm still learning that rest is productive. Child, I gotta stop going to sleep at like midnight and 1 a.m. like I did last night. But last night I was doing laundry, and like sometimes, like when my daughter goes to sleep, like I know I got like a 3-hour time to like try to do everything. And sometimes I have to squeeze in the time to make sure that I'm giving my husband the attention and time too. So now I'm left with either hour and a half to 2 hours left to do what I have to do. And we all know laundry takes time, because these laundry washing machines, they take about an hour to hour and a half to wash our clothes. Like, God damn. And I'm still learning to trust God's timing, even when I'm impatient. And I've always trusted his timing in every aspect of my life. I don't really talk about religion or Christianity or any of that stuff online. I just feel like you guys have more than enough people to preach these things to you. But yeah, I'm a big believer in Christ. I'm a big believer in trusting God's timing. It may not seem like it because I cuss a lot and stuff like that. We all are not perfect at all. But yeah, I always trust God's timing, always pray, always make sure I pray over my husband, I pray over my daughter, I pray over my parents, my siblings. Like, I pray over the most important people in my life. And I feel like God has always been there, always took my hand and walked with me since I was a little girl. I could tell you guys about some of the most beautiful things that has happened in my life, and it had God written all over it. And even my mom has journals of things that I used to come to her and tell her. And yeah, God has always been very present in my life. And yeah. So if you're 29, 31, 33, 34, hell, if you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, don't matter. Just know you don't always have to have it all together. Okay? Even the people you see on the internet that you think have it all together, they don't. They don't. You know, and that's okay. There's no judgment. But you don't have to feel like you have to have certain things at a certain time. You just have to keep showing up for yourself, and those things will come. If you made it this far, thank you so much for being here. I hope this video felt like a warm hug or a deep conversation with a big sister, because I'm probably older than most of you guys. Because I've seen my analytics, and a lot of you guys are between like 25 and 34, and I'm like, I'm no longer gonna be in that age range no more. Let me know down in the comments what your 30s have taught you. Hell, what your 20s have taught you, or what your 40s have taught you, or 50s or 60s, who cares? Like, whatever age range you are in, what have you learned? Or what are you hoping to feel when you get there? Or what are you hoping to feel and learn when you get there? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, or share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Cheers to growing, healing, mothering, creating, loving, and doing it all imperfectly. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. And shout out to all my Aries out there.